He's hiring an HR person. Bro, how did he not have an HR person? Bro, you are literally, bro, you're a corporation. Bro, that's crazy. He's hiring an HR person. HR is for the company's self-preservation, okay? HR is not actually for the employees, just so you guys understand. But the fact that he didn't even have the wherewithal and like the foresight, it blows my mind. This man truly has content brain and nothing else. MrBeast has a lot of stuff going on. I can't believe Eagle, the legal team, the Eagle team actually came up with illegal rigging, lotteries, and NDAs. There's a YouTuber who isn't really a YouTuber, but like built a YouTube channel specifically to make this video. This guy literally has 450,000 subscribers now with 2 videos, okay? He made this channel, I don't think the videos are monetized. He made a video 2 weeks ago called, I work for MrBeast, he's a fraud. This first video was kind of weak overall because it was literally just like, oh, MrBeast, I worked with him and he like fakes his videos. No shit. And also, he's doing an illegal lottery, which I'm not entirely certain was an illegal lottery, which is fine. But the second video, like he made this video, I work for MrBeast, he's a fraud, right? Which was like, whatever, not that big of a deal if you understand how anything works, really, unless you're like a 12-year-old who thought the CGI and all this stuff was like real. Having said that, the second video, as far as I understand, I like briefly watched it because I saw a TikTok recap of it and I could not believe what the fuck was going on in the second video. He went from like, oh yeah, MrBeast fakes his videos, guys, you'll never see this, like you won't believe it, to like he might have violated like international crimes against humanity. It kind of went from MrBeast fakes his videos to like the Geneva Conventions were violated and the ICC might need to like intervene with the MrBeast franchise, which I feel like is an insane leap. This seems not as much of a leap, especially because I think that there is like there's more evidence for some of the stuff that he talked about here. So let's take a look at this video.
I'm hungry. I'll write jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it. Hey, what the hell happened to you? MrBeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
So I don't know why he's doing the iDubbbz content cop shit.
Kyle took my job. Kyle took my job. It's the worst thing that's tonight is gonna make me do.
Like he's doing the iDubbbz content cop shit, which is like so old school, I guess. It's a little bit in poor taste, but
content cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really gonna get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also I have like more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2, you know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 boys versus girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable. You trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so that will be part 3. So, you know, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry.
He means pedophile. So this part actually came out. The pedophile thing. MrBeast knowingly hired a pedophile on the sex offender registry. That actually literally came out because Ava Chris Tyson tweeted it at one of the former Beast employees, the Viking guy, who's like super transphobic. Like super transphobic. This guy allegedly. Fuck you mean allegedly, bro? Wait, no. It's that part is not allegedly. What do you mean already debunked? No, this part is real. What? This guy is super transphobic. Ava Chris Tyson literally leaked when he was being super transphobic. Ava Chris Tyson straight up leaked the fucking criminal charges. Bro's on a registry. You're talking about allegedly. Like what? You're fucking crazy if you think that that is an alleged thing. This dude's brother-in-law is a registered sex offender. The tweet itself confirms it. Motherfuckers are like, oh, the allegedly registry. The record also shows, because this is a sex offender registry, the record also shows the victim was between the ages of 1 and 11. Nothing alleged about any of this shit. Get the fuck out of here. His nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was and was actually the reason I got hired at MrBeast. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017, 2018. Delaware was also let go of the company before I was. Delaware was supposed to be behind the scenes manager, but in a couple of videos, he was asked to partake because we needed people. He was reluctant, especially in the straight jacket video because of the charges. That's why he wore the mask. Delaware charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and best father my 2 nieces I could ever ask for. They want no part in this. I just want to live their lives away from the limelight. What is this debunking him? I'm saying that legally it'd be safer to say that allegedly that Jimmy knew. Wait, what? No, dude, he's saying there's no alleged. He's saying Jimmy knew, bro. What the fuck? I understand why anyone would be upset and frustrated over these allegations, and I do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable, but in the case of Delaware, I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day these charges are dropped. That's crazy. He said he's nothing but a good person who also happens to be a registered sex offender. Like that's crazy. And it's not even like a registered sex offender for like pissing outside or some shit. Because like, obviously the criminal justice system is pretty fucking ridiculous in many circumstances. Not exactly a nice place out there, okay? You can be... You can get got for being in the wrong place, wrong time, do some shit, okay? And then land yourself in a horrific situation that will ruin the rest of your life.
So I got his DM, drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you know, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, it feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, you know, doing well. And I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it. So as far as that, that's my covering up of why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
It was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, "Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised." And then I hit send, and then they go, "Call your mom now." And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, "What? I'm on vacation." "Mom, my car has been destroyed."
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
But yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put down payments on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a down payment, and I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at MrBeast. So
I must be stupid because I thought he made real videos, but I don't actually watch MrBeast. You thought MrBeast dropped a meteor on one of his like beastable guys' cars? Like an actual, like he has the capacity to do such things?
There was another writer there, older comic, black guy, he had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child, we're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fucking white guy, why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up. And one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the V stuff shook out was...
Wait, why is he crying? I skipped too fast.
I feel really guilty about the way this like shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like, it's fucked up, you know, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, you know, because you deserve to get paid more. You know, I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, you know, because when you grow up with, you know, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you know. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, "Hey man, if that's how you feel, you know, like if that's like, I trust you." He stood with me. He went into that meeting with me, and I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, "I need XYZ or I'm out of here." And they said, "Bet," and they gave me a severance check the next day, and they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew If I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the yeah. How many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said he just wanted to be in the room, you know? And I really regret that. But, you know, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends.
Is he doing good?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy.
That's crazy. Bro's wearing the fucking content cop uniform while the dude is crying in front of him because his friend that he brought to the company wasn't getting paid well. That's crazy. Bro, why did you do this like this? He should have just like locked in. You know?
He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you was still better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought,
I mean, that makes sense.
if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street and you saw an opportunity for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, you know, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. You know, I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there, and I didn't like it. And I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ, and then I got the severance checks, so, you know, whatever, all that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right. So in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public. Let's have him back for something. You know? Yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back. You know, and I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days at a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in. I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out.
This is the part that's important.
There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the like surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well. I was already planning on moving to New York, and I had worked at a couple of.
Here's what it is. This guy used to work for MrBeast. He's appeared in a shit ton of the videos. He's a former, albeit somewhat disgruntled employee. So there's a case for him there's a motive for him to be like obviously upset about MrBeast. Having said that, however, so far it's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't really pay too much attention to, but I think one of them was like he brought his friend over to the company, but then his friend wasn't getting paid a lot and he got really upset and he literally said he didn't get paid enough, and then they both got severances afterwards. But the real fucked up shit is what he's about to describe. which is a video that MrBeast shot but never actually ended up releasing, because the video was actually solitary confinement, American, Supreme Court certified torture that they basically did to this guy, and he actually experienced some psychological trauma in the aftermath of that video. They didn't actually literally reveal they didn't actually film the video, or they filmed it, but they didn't actually ever end up publishing the video for that reason.
Two companies after Beast. And I had a little bit of change in my pocket, the most change I had in my pocket ever, small potatoes, compared to Beast bullshit, but, I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever. And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, hey, they want you for a video. I was like, oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God. What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park.
It wasn't his friend. It was an older black man with a child who worked there, who was paid the same as him. He thought that was wrong because the guy had a kid. Said they should be paid more. Then they fired both of them.
The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement. But don't worry, you only
paid less than him. Sorry.
Have to last 30. We have a video. They're pitching it at first it's going to be a luxury vacation. You're going to have a hot tub and an ice cream machine. And part of the video is going to be you deciding what items am I going to get rid of, today? And they had the choice. They were it's only going to be bad for maybe the last 5 days tops when you have nothing left. You're the first, it's going to be a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up. On paper, I was like, okay, I can do this, and they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors had told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. That I held my tongue and I swallowed my pride and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there. And at first it's fine. And they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, which that's probably not good, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. It looks good on camera. It's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. It was in one of the studios. They had to get a separate tank for septic stuff. There was a hot tub in it. There was an ice cream machine. Things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. There's not a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy, mildew, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. There was the bug thing wasn't terrible, but it was a factor. And at first it was fine, and you're playing it up, because it's a video. And it got to a point where they weren't turning the lights off. I asked them, I said, can we have nighttime hours? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time lapse shots. The time lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Want to know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it. One of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me saying, this we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh.
Wrong. America is allowed to do that to terrorists. Just to clarify something. Yes, it is a crime. Yes, it is torture. Yes, America does it to its enemies.
Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note for the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is the note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. Oh, you want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with this, but if he signed for it, is this a legal versus moral thing? No, dude, what? No, you can still be liable legally.
I needed it, of course. Just something about like having the cameras on me all the time. Like I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny. You know, I'm a dark comic. You know, I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor. You know, so this kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. Yeah, I have jokes about that in my act. You know, I joke about it because, you know, that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do fine about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse, but we're filming. So I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days. I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera, but it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time-lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Did you try to get out?
Yes! I was starting to calculate, I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I, well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man. I did. Since we're doing time-lapse shots and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we'll give you time-lapse shots back. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warren came in and erased it. You know, fucking, you know, don't put that. Don't. Hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there. You know. Like we were playing up the joke. You know, it's like, oh, I'm the boy in the cage. You know, whatever. Like I'll play into a joke. Whatever, it's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad. Because I love jokes from my dad. I'll joke about my dad all the time. That guy's a piece of shit. I hate my dad. But I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine, because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I said that to seem weird. I don't like it. We were doing that, one of those hide and seek videos. Again, you know, at the time, they were a lot realer. So I got caught. And when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if, you know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, all right, you're going to jail, you know, like your dad. And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits." Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm thinking, like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video?
I don't like him for some reason. Yes, I'll be honest. He comes across as like he's trying to farm a little bit. Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. The vibes are like a little weird. And I think it's because he's like a stand-up comic. So he's doing like stand-up comic voice almost when he's talking about it. So it looks like it's just not, you know, he's not giving across like trustworthy vibes. But ultimately, I'm just listening to what he's saying.
And so the thing that made me want to, I got to get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up.
Yeah, the guy working for the rich guy's privilege, not the rich guy type shit, is exactly what is wrong with so many fucking Americans in general. You have infinitely more in common with this dude than fucking MrBeast in this situation. You get fucked over by your boss on a daily fucking basis. You're coerced into doing horrifying shit that you normally wouldn't want to do, but you have to do it because you need to make a living. And you're over here being like, "Well, he's in a much better situation than me because he at least got to do a MrBeast video." So you hate him more than like the same coercive elements that exist in your life being reflected on right here.
And he goes, "Ask me why I have 2 briefcases." And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic, I'm dumb, I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." I was like, "On camera, I don't want to do it." He goes, "Just do it for the thing, like, kid, you know?" Like, there was an element of, "Oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in-house." You know, that's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's, he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Ryder. Do I look like I run? I don't run, you know? Let alone a marathon, let alone that training for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know? And if I refuse, it's just, well, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and
Yeah, so he wanted to get out of it, and he got pressured and coerced into it. You know what I mean?
I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." And I'm running until 3 a.m. All right, I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, "You got to pull him out." Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, "Yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you." They go, "Oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him." like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it.
Like, I believe him. I don't think this is unbelievable at all.
They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his, he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me and he was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. When you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. Just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before it got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks.
Does it discredit any or all the philanthropy work MrBeast does on his all channels? I mean, it puts it into perspective in terms of philanthropy for content. The subjects in the videos that he doesn't fake are just people that he can discard, basically. That's the vibe I'm getting from this video. And I think a lot of the stuff that he's done in terms of a competition, a lot of he's not going to do this to Ludwig. You know what I mean? That's what he's not going to fucking take Ludwig and put him in a fucking Geneva Convention violation circumstance, right? That's not happening. But he will do it to this guy who he's already worked with, discarded. You know what I mean? It'd be pretty cool. I think my opinion of MrBeast would change if he were to torture MAGA male. Just kidding. I think I rag on Ludwig too much. And I think people think that I hate him or something. I love Ludwig. He's a wonderful person. This dude is he's not as relevant. Here's the 3-minute break now, by the way. And discardable, disposable. And I think that's basically what he's trying to describe here.
And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time. And I feel good now. I just had to get that out there.
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, if you got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep, even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Reminder, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. I feel better, like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face, but hey, I'm out, I'm alive. Therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money, so good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking, too much, one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like, even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like, if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like, the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical, like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of MrBeast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned, and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No Does Not Mean No. Already insane.
Oh, yo! That is, nope. 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 That is nope. Come on, dog. We need a store to buy everything inside of, and you call the local auction, and the person that says, no, you can't film here. That literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if there are fans. Or if there are any kids that are fans, try to talk to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team, etc. If after all avenues are exhausted, you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager could be a huge fan willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't just stop because, okay, this is a little different. I thought this is for like trying to make content, which is like still crazy because MrBeast, here's the thing, okay? I thought this was like about pushing people that you're filming. Here's the problem. MrBeast is like a dude from North Carolina who fucking filmed himself torturing himself for like years until he became like a viral content creator. So the problem in this situation is that like he didn't just become a viral content creator, he became like a Walmart brand with an Amazon deal. Mentality, it seems, stayed as like, oh, I'm just like a small content creator. You can't do that when you are like an empire. With great power comes great responsibility. And like when you inevitably upsize, you literally have to also take on a more responsible role in the way that you conduct yourself. This seems to me like a holdout from like when you're just like a small YouTube channel. I say this as a content creator myself, where like you can't have this. Like this is not appropriate at all. This line right here is not appropriate at all, right? Like you can't have that anywhere in a document that you show people that you have employed. Okay? At the moment of employment, like you're no longer like a 16-year-old dickhead with your friends trying to film shit. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound real. Yeah, it doesn't sound real because you're looking at it like it's Mr. Walmart, Mr. Amazon Beast, Mr. Jimmy Amazon Donaldson, and not fucking like, you know, silly boy from North Carolina who's like edgy and fucking shooting dumb videos of himself. The point where you have to do a best practices document for your employees that you're hiring is the point where you're done. You're done. You're no longer like a TikToker.
Because it's sort of, it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, when dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that—
How much does this MrBeast shiz actually matter to you? I mean, I think it's pretty fucked up if he's torturing people for his videos. What the fuck do you mean? That's like that's important. I know that like a lot of the people don't actually care about that.
Answers says, no, you can't film here. That literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer's sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative and sort of, they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled MrBeast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond.
Bro, you can't be like, this is unused evidence and then post a Reddit post though. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dog. Like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form disparaging this person, but like, please, I hope he backs this up. This is not just
as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It, where at the end of that video, he actually says,
If you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yeah, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production.
Okay, never mind. I apologize for the disrespect. I apologize. I was unfamiliar with your game, okay? He did. He good. This is good. This is
crew, and because
I have to pee. Fuck. I have to pee so bad. I'm sorry.
Has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by MrBeast's production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with MrBeast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say, but they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of like him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying. Which, you know, I'm sure this isn't like technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe, had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it. Because I had it rough growing up. And I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone, fixates on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad. And because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you can do some things that maybe aren't good, but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work at MrBeast who are damn good at their jobs. Like, when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to...
Does this characterization of Jimmy track with your experience meeting him? Bro, my interaction with Jimmy MrBeast Donaldson is sum total of 5.5 minutes. And if you think I can make an assessment off of that, I don't know. I mean, he was nice. He was nice to me, but a lot of people who can be fucking ruthless to their employees can be nice to other people. He even FaceTimed my cousins, my baby cousins that were big ass MrBeast fans. They probably still are, honestly. I mean, he made me look super cool, like forever.
Do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do.
I think he's too big to fail. I think he is straight up, like, as a content creator, as a standalone content creator, too big to fail. And no matter what the controversy is, given his marketability, given how many massive brands are now associated with him and are like financially vested in his future success, including but not limited to fucking Amazon, I don't think that people are gonna. I don't think that this will, like, he'll have a shit ton of PR to, even if he doesn't cover this at all, he will have a shit ton of PR to just move on from it. You know what I mean? He says Beast needs to address the allegations though, despite being too big to fail. Yeah, no shit. I agree. Also, I don't know. Does he, like, obviously from a moral perspective, yes, no shit, duh. But does he really need to? Because he's so fucking big. He can just like always flood the market. I feel like when he's that big, him addressing the allegations gives so much more spotlight to the allegations. Like, him addressing these allegations would give it literal global pull. You see what I'm saying? Like, so much more. He would give so much more light to the accusations.
I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I'll buy in a hole. I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. You know? I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. You know? But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved it.
Taylor Lorenz said he gave a statement to Variety on our podcast. Well, I mean, there's also AP assessments on it. I mean, there's an AP hit on it. MrBeast ordered a full assessment of the internal culture of his YouTube empire, as well as an investigation into allegations of inappropriate behavior by people in the company, according to a confidential memo. Addressed to Team Beast employees. The message sent Wednesday outlines infrastructure changes, including plans to hire a chief human resource. He's hiring an HR person. Bro, how did he not have an HR person? Bro, you are literally... Bro, you're a corporation. What the fuck? Bro, that's crazy. He's hiring an HR person. HR is for the company's self-preservation, okay? HR is not actually for the employees, just so you guys understand. But the fact that he didn't even have the wherewithal and like the foresight, it blows my mind. This man truly has content brain and nothing else. It actually blows my mind a little bit. I thought that he would have like better managers. Company-wide sensitivity training, the expanded probe signals the troubles inside the YouTube's biggest channel could go deeper than the serious allegations facing a longtime collaborator. Acknowledged last month by MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson. As your leader, I take responsibility and I'm committed to it. He's doing PR speak. Oh, he is. He's big time now. That's how you know he's big time now. I recognize that I also need to create a culture that makes our employees, all of our employees, feel safe and allows them to do their best work. A spokesperson for MrBeast confirmed that the memo was sent to employees. The memo comes after a turbulent few weeks for the YouTuber, long adored by his young fans for freewheeling videos of outrageous giveaways and audacious charitable acts. Donaldson admitted previously using inappropriate language last week after clips circulated online of past homophobic and racist remarks. An early production of his ambitious game show set to feature 1,000 competitors and a $5 million grand prize recently brought safety complaints from contestants who described a chaotic set where they lack regular access to food, water, and medication. This part is the craziest. This was a New York Times report on it, on the conditions of the Amazon Studios project that they're doing. That one blew my mind. Lack food, bitch, they didn't give insulin to a person with diabetes. Like, which is crazy because it is a multiple $1 million project that Amazon Studios putting together. I don't fucking understand how they didn't do like proper shit. It was no insulin for 24 hours for $1 million. Sounds like Amazon though. They don't let their employees piss. No, Amazon Studios is entirely separate. No, guys. Amazon Studios literally fucking also hosts like union projects. What are you talking about? Amazon Studios, still owned by Amazon, puts out movies and shit. What do you think? Like, do you think that Amazon Studios is also making like when The Boys is filming, you think they're making the actors piss in fucking bottles like they're goddamn truck drivers, dude? No, of course not. Those are fucking union shops. Those are union projects, dude. What are you, crazy? That's why I'm shocked.
Behind closed doors is a real piece of shit. And so, when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely. And then, everyone, thought my mom was the bitch, for not, the day the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, you just go. When I saw my dad in the news, I said, oh, you idiots. Like, I was like, no, I was, dumbass, god damn it. But I wasn't surprised. And it was just consequences happened to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy. And behind closed doors, he is not super great. And that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally. And it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, just one final question on a serious note. Obviously, the Ava Chris Tyson drama, and, that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast just because I was on Beast Hacks, now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just, being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff because when I got there, it was like 2019. So I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term. And then they started bringing more people on. Maybe they thought they had that under the rug, all right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers, And when I saw it, all that stuff start coming out, and the potentiality as of this moment of recording. I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats, or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats.
I thought he was, no? I thought he was in the Discord.
After the shit he did to me, if you're gonna make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens at this point.
Outside of Chris Tyson, did you notice any or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. He's very careful about his image. The tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that, Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything, who worked there.
Chad, this is not about Ava Chris Tyson. This is about the dude named Delaware, okay, who was a registered sex offender from Delaware.
And you can, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on that's one thing. You go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. If you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that.
What happened is they knowingly hired, the MrBeast franchise knowingly hired a dude named Delaware. It was Jake the Viking, the transphobic guy. This guy's brother-in-law. Okay, this is also a former Beast guy, former Beastable, who's been getting a lot of mileage off of, like MrBeast is, queering the children with trans people or whatever the fuck, right? And the only reason why we know about this is because he was being transphobic as fuck to Ava Chris Tyson, and she just came out and posted this dude's brother-in-law being a pedophile, like an actual straight up in the sex offender registry pedophile. They hired him knowing that he was a pedophile. And it's not even alleged. Like all of this stuff he's on the sex offender registry.
Channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And that he knew, and because he'll be in videos He'll be in thumbnails. He'll be around. And
This
whatever
guy.
he is. He's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender? With a physical mask? Like, do I have to... Is it more on the nose? Or... I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Especially because he's like making kid content around kids. Like, that shit is devious. Like, that part is actually fucking nutty. All right.
Why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? The fuck? And Jimmy knew about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry. And that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
Jimmy was like, I never sat down, and I was like, would you do it for like $1,000 for $1? Like, stay up and fucking make a set for like 8 hours by yourself. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was Reed's idea to get involved. And it was like, we need to get you an APL manager, and then we went through that whole cycle of different VPs and managers, and, you know, people that won't talk to us anymore. Because they're scared of Jimmy. And if you really don't do anything in the affidavits or testimonials from people, you have to move very quickly because one of those people are going to go back.
No, it's not RFK, bro.
Okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who was in the last video telling Jimmy, you know, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, you know, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. You know, don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll. Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know, but, you know, I know I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with, so I'll just say preemptively, like, you know, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still such an extreme level of negative.
Except it doesn't matter because the dude's brother-in-law literally came out. The dude's brother-in-law literally came out and was like, no, he did know about it. There's so many of these moments where they just like straight up come out and just admit it. Like a real Dr. Disrespect style situation. This Twitter post is like after the video came out. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware's my brother-in-law. Yes, he's an RSO, registered sex offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of sexual assault when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. His name is in Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was. The reason I got hired before MrBeast, before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. He's like literally also then turning around and like incriminating Jimmy's mom as well. So yes, Jimmy knew, but again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017, 2018. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. You know?
Negligence, like what? You're not doing background checks. You're not. Everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and you know, a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you or you know, your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, you know, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games, you should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out. Jake Weddle, top link in the description. I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
What is this? My friend said this to me 2 years ago. Watched DogPack's video and honestly did not think. I thought it would just be about him underpaying staff or being mean to people. Did not expect torture and manipulation. I don't know what this photo implies. I've never watched the show. Bro, this guy, DogPack or whatever, he's gotta fucking not do this in a content cop style situation. It's getting worse for MrBeast. Rosanna Pansino, who the fuck is that? I appreciate Rosanna for being vocal about MrBeast, but that comes with risk. Jimmy's getting desperate and will try anything at this point. After watching the recent DogPack video, I'm convinced he won't think twice before crossing a line, hoping for her safety. I've heard rumors from people working close with MrBeast that he is hiring people to investigate those speaking up against him. Thanks for those who reached out to warn me and others. I now have confirmation from several people that individuals are being offered money to fabricate stories about me and others. I've identified some of these people already. They began harassing my friends as of last weekend. I'm keeping all the receipts. That's crazy. Holy shit. I never said anything bad about him. MrBeast. He's great. I love him. Please. I love Feastables.